Hello dear students, myself Elma T. Archana, Department of Pharmacognosy, Danan College of Pharmacy, Latur. Today, through this presentation, I am going to discuss the topic Basics of Pharmacognosy for GPAT. After this video presentation, one can get idea about what points are necessary for GPAT preparation from this Basics of Pharmacognosy, which type of study is required for GPAT, and how to remember the things from this basic pharmacognosy concept. So, I think this Basics of Pharmacognosy syllabus comes under the Pharmacognosy and Phytochemistry first subject as per the PCI. So, dear students, this part of Pharmacognosy subject is very easy and quite interesting for GPAT. So, start with one example of part of plant, that is bark. There are list of bark containing plants. For example, Cinchona bark, Arjuna bark, Ashoka bark, Cassia bark, cinnamon bark, and many more. So, in this concept, in this bark drugs, what points are necessary to remember? First of all, we will see the basic information about the bark. So, it is the first part of a tree that you see. It's the stuff that's on the outside of the wound. This is the bark. It is a very important part of the tree and deserves to be discussed in this section. The secondary external tissue lying outside the cambium in the stem or root of dicotyledons, known as barks. Also, botanically, this bark is known as periderm. It consists of mainly three layers, namely cork, cork cambium, and secondary cortex. This cork is also called as phloem. Cork cambium is also called as phellogen, and secondary cortex it is also called as phelloderm. So, phloem, phellogen, and phelloderm. These are the three layers of bark. Commercially, bark consists of all the tissues outside the cambium. A young bark includes epidermis, cortex, pericycle, and phloem. These barks are obtained from the plants by making longitudinal or transverse incision through the outer layers followed by peeling. Bark may be obtained from the stem or roots. There may be the stem barks or root barks. And due to the excessive growth produced by the cambium and cork cambium, the external tissue gets tangentially stretched or torn, and hence sometimes this epidermis is not found in the bark, and this is the reason why epidermis is absent in this case. So, meristematic zone, which is located between the bark and the wood, the vascular cambium zone, that is the cambium. Its cells divides inward and outward and laying down new wood cells on those already in place and new inner bark cells inside those already existing. So, how to define this bark? This bark is all the tissue of the stem or root of woody plants that are exterior to the cambium. Also, this bark consisting of outer bark and inner bark. This outer bark is also called as rhytidome. The surface of outer bark of many species is perforated by corky lenticels that allows increased rate of gas exchange by living tissue inside the stems. Next, inner bark. This inner bark is produced by adjacent to the vascular cambium. It is composed of living secondary phloem. Then, the processing towards the outside of stem, the inner bark is typically terminated by the innermost and most recent periderm, which is produced by the phellogen. So, this phellogen develops from parenchyma in the older phloem tissue and in young stems just beneath the epidermis. So, these are the two layers, outer bark and inner bark. The collection is usually in the spring or early in the summer. when the cambium is active, and after a rainy season the bark is most easily collected. So the collection of this bark is in rainy season. How to dry this bark? Drying of bark is very important. So drying of bark is nearly always affected by the sun heat in an open air, or sometimes after a preliminary drying in the open air, the operation is completed by some kind of artificial heat. In some cases, the artificial heat is required to completely dry the bark. After this, the bark exhibits several morphological and microscopical characters. But the morphological characters need special attention as they helps in the identification of barks. As earlier we have seen the video, that is standardization of herbal drug. In that case, we have seen the 5 to 6 method for the evaluation of drug, in which first method is morphological evaluation. So in that method we have to evaluate the morphological characteristic of that drug. So this morphology of bark is very essential, or it is very helpful for the identification of barks. Shape or form of the bark is dependent upon the method adopted for its preparation. It also depends upon the type of incision made and the extent of any subsequent shrinkage of tissue. When the bark, these are the different shapes of bark. First, that is flat bark. When the bark is removed from the large trees and dried under pressure, then the flat barks are produced. When quite flat and very thick, that is flat bark. Examples are Vilaya and Arjuna. Second, curved bark. When the bark is removed from the small branches due to the shrinkage of the soft tissue, it tends to curve, forming a concavity on the inner side, yielding curved pieces. That is the curved bark. Examples are wild cherry and cassia bark. Next type of shape of bark is recurved bark. That is, if the concavity, this concavity is on outer side of the bark, then it is described as a recurved bark. Examples are pomegranate and kuruchi bark. It is well known example for this recurved shape. And dear students, questions many more time asked on that shape of bark, which type of shape and which is the example of that drug. So next type is channeled bark. When the shrinkage of the tissue is to a greater extent and it forms a deep rough or channel, then it is called as channeled bark. Examples are Ashoka bark or cassia bark. Next type of bark is single quill or double quill. So in some cases, one edge of a bark covers the other to form a quill. When deeply concave on the inner side, that the edges of the bark nearly or quite overlap. And the example is Shinkona, Cascara or cinnamon. Next, double quill. If both the edges of the bark roll independently and forming a quill, that is called as double quill. Examples are Java cinnamon or Fragula bark. Next, compound quill. In some cases, one quill of bark is put inside and other quill to form a compound quill. This other quill is surrounded to this small bark. So it is called as compound quill, and well-known example for this type of shape of bark is cinnamon. Next, so these are the type of shape of barks and which is very helpful for the morphological identification. Next is the fracture. The appearance shown by the transversely broken surface of the bark is known as fracture. That is, it is the behavior of barks when broken across transversely, and the appearance of the exposed surfaces, it is described as like shot when the fractured surface is smooth, granular when the surfaces exhibit small rounded prominences. Fibrous, when fibrous threads extend from the broken surface. And laminated fracture, when breaks into tangentially arranged layers. So, the examples for this fibrous fracture is Shinkona bark. The example for this laminated fracture, that is the Phyllia bark. In case of this broken surface presence means splinterary fracture or granular fracture. It is mostly observed in the cinnamon. And this short, when the fractured surface is smooth, it is observed in cinnamon and kuruchi bark. For this granular type of fracture, the examples are wild cherry bark and cassia bark. So dear students, we remember which type of bark or which shape of bark and which fracture is present in which drugs. The example of drugs and the shape or type of fracture in that drug present. It is very important. Next is the histology of that bark. So the bark includes a number of different tissues from the outside to the inside of mature woody stem. First is cork, that is phloem or phloem, cork cambium, that is phellogen, phelloderm, cortex, phloem, vascular cambium and xylem. So this is the histology or microscopy of the bark, and these are the layers which are present in the bark when we observe under the microscope. So bark is of two types, outer bark, inner bark. Inner bark consisting of secondary phloem which transmit food made in the leaves down to the roots. In case of outer bark, the periderm and secondary cortex. Here is the secondary phloem, and this periderm, it is consisting of three layers, that is cork, phelloderm and cork cambium. So this is very important. Bark consisting of two layers, outer and inner. Inner consisting of secondary phloem, whereas outer consisting of secondary cortex and periderm. So this secondary phloem is involved in the transmits food made in the leaves down to the roots. And in outer bark, periderm consisting of cork, phelloderm and cork cambium. Cork cambium divides to the outside and it divides to the inside, that is cork and phelloderm. It is combinedly called as periderm, whereas vascular cambium consisting of secondary phloem and secondary xylem. Next, secretory structures. These are the external secretory structures and these are the internal secretory structures. So, trichomes and glands, nectaries and hadathos. In case of internal, secretory cells, secretory cavities and canals. These are the secretory cavities or sac. Cystogenous gland, lysogenous glands or cystolysogenous glands. So, this is the example of Shinkona bark, that is an anti-malarial drug, anti-malarial bark. So, yes students, we can see this detailed example and every aspects, every point of these drugs in our second video. So, here up to this we have studied the detailed information regarding the bark and which types of their barks, which type of fractures are present and which are the examples. So, thank you.